Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe Beck, and I'm here to do my November wrap-up part 1. I've decided to split it up again, and I'm not sure if I'm going to do that going forward. As I said, I haven't heard if I should maybe do weekly, or I don't know if I read enough books to do weekly, but maybe sometimes I do. This month I probably could have, but because I'm doing NaNoWriMo, I haven't had really time to do many like booktube only videos. I've been doing vlogging, so if you have not seen those and you would like to see my journey with the writing, because it's been kind of up and down, you can check those out. I figured I'd just do a wrap up here, mostly because most of these books are going back to the library today, so I might as well have a physical copy. Since I haven't, I'm gonna, as I said, now that I got my new computer, which if you'd see my vlogs, you'd see I have such drama with the computer. Or, well, I guess that was earlier too. I told you I said my first computer fried. Well, my borrowed computer died as well. So I bought a new computer. Luckily, I got a really great deal. But point is that I haven't got any editing programs on it yet. So at some point, I'm going to get to that point and then be able to do all the nifty things. I just haven't taught myself that yet. After NaNoWriMo, sorry. November writing. That's my major thing. So anyway, so I'm just going to go through these. I've had a really good month of reading so far. Again, Nonfiction November has been awesome. Thank you to abookolive and Gemma over at Nonfic Book. It's just been great. I mean, because I've been writing so much, it's been great to have books that have absolutely nothing to do with what I'm writing. There's no fantasy elements at all. These are all very, books that I don't always pick up that I want to pick up and learn something. So it's been really fun to do something different. So anyway, I'm just going to go through these, in the order that I finished them, just because that's the way I do it. And if you think I should do it a different way, let me know. But really, this is just, I'm just going to go in the order because I'm doing it half the month. Anyway, so the first one that I read was Hunger by Roxane Gay. So this book is a memoir of my body, and it's her talking about things to do with her body, as in some traumatic things that happened when she was a child, to growing up, and then having a weight problem, and then being a very tall person as well as having a weight problem, and then dealing with all the things that has to do mentally with being that, having those issues, as well as all the trauma from the earlier life. I just thought her book was really well put together, and it was just, sometimes the writing was just very beautiful. I listened to this on audiobook and so just to hear her voice was sometimes very impactful, and I really, really enjoyed this. And I'm kind of on the edge I kind of think I want to buy a physical copy to have it, because it was really good, and there were certain sections that it really resonated with me, and I really liked it. So I gave this a 4 on Goodreads at this point, but really I think I'm edging towards a 5. I think this was really a 4.5 read for me, and there was a couple things where I was like, I don't know, and I don't know why, but it wasn't like, I don't know. I might still bump up my rating. Maybe I should go up rather than down for that. So anyway, so let's see here. So the next book was the only book that I read that wasn't for Nonfiction November, and that was Star Wars from a Certain Point of View. It's 40 stories celebrating 40 years of Star Wars. What this was 40 stories, little short stories that followed people or events in the original movie, episode 4, whatever. But that all the way through, so it'd be like a side character, or it was that robot that blew the motivator, outside of the Jawas. Sandcrawler, or it was a Jawa, or it was it was a stormtrooper who decided he didn't want to be there anymore. I don't know. It was just, there was all these great little stories in here. I didn't love it because there was a lot of ones I'm like, I don't care. I don't care. But it was still very interesting. A lot of them were really good. There were some that were, I really liked the Will Wheaton one that was in here. And then, of course, there were some at the end that had to do with Wedge. And he's always been one of my favorites from Rogue Squadron. And again, I have the whole X-Wing Squadron books are the only ones left of all the Star Wars I used to collect. I bought all the ones in I think it was the 90s when they started letting, Lucas let them start writing books for the universe. And so, for their stories. And so, I had a lot of them for many years and I read a lot of them. But, I only have the X-Wings left because they're my favorite. Anyway. But anyway, I really enjoyed this. I had it from the library, so I had to read it because I had a time crunch to get it done. But overall, as I said, I gave it a 3. As I said, there's some stories I really, really liked, and a lot of them I was just like, meh. I didn't really enjoy them. So, I mean, again, that's how I feel with short stories. You have to remember, you have to understand, I'm a novel person. Short stories are really hard for me, and short story collections are painful. So, the fact that I liked it enough of them that I still would say it's a good book for if you are a Star Wars fan. I would say it could be a lot of fun reading it, and just because I imagined the movie as we were going through each story. So it was good. It just wasn't great. Anyway, the next book I picked up was The Year of Living Danishly by Helen Russell. I picked this up because Lauren from Lauren the Books had raved about this, I think before November. And so I thought, I was one of those, there was a couple books I picked up that were not on my, like I wasn't thinking about reading them. And then right before November, I went and got some from the library, and this was one of them that happened to be on the shelf. So, because she had raved about it. Of course, now she lowered her rating, which I agree with. I actually think this is a solid 3. I enjoyed it. I think it's very interesting to see when you move to another country and the differences. I'm not saying that Denmark is not the best place to live on Earth, but I'm saying it was very interesting, the good and the bad. And I thought she did have a lot of journalistic, integrity was there, except her memoir part of it kind of warped that a little bit. And but I still enjoyed it. Like, I mean, I wanted to be done by the end. I was like, okay, are we done yet? But that could be just because, again, I don't read as much nonfiction as I used to, and I just got tired by the end. But really, I think, and then there was one section that was kind of like a duplicate of an earlier section. So, but then that was me. Maybe I was just because I remembered it well. And I was like, okay, I already know that. But overall, as I said, I gave it a 3. It was interesting. I'm glad I read it, mostly because I am of Norwegian descent, and I know a lot of my relatives, or distant relatives that we met about 10 years ago when we went over there, they were all very different point of views on things. And I think that was what was kind of cool, is the point of view from this English couple who went over and changed and had to kind of adapt. So that part I did like. So I still enjoyed it, and I still would say, if that is interesting to you, to look it up, but it was just okay. So then I read one of the books that my dad had let me borrow earlier this year, and I just hadn't gotten to, and that was Last Stand by Nathaniel Pilbrick. This is Custard, Sitting Bull, and the Battle of the Little Bighorn. Now, again, I saw he had it at Christmas time, I think, and then he brought it up a couple months later and let me read it. Well, I've had it since then, so it was just sitting on my shelf, so I go, this is the perfect opportunity. So I decided to listen to it as an audiobook. I got it from my library because I had it right on hand. And because it was just so big and I didn't want to carry it around. I don't really like big hardbacks, as I've said before. But I did want to read this. And so I kept this on the couch next to me. So when I'd get home after listening in the car, I would then go through all the pages to see all the maps and all the pictures and things. So I still it was a little bit behind, maybe where to see things when they were talking about them, but it still made sense. I found this very well done for this history. I thought he did a really good job of showing both sides of the conflict as well as the aftermath. And there's just so many moments where you cringe as somebody in the the 21st century and about things that happened then and their decisions. And that part's always hard. But I thought this was a really good comprehensive look at a little bit before, during the Battle of the Little Bighorn, and then the aftermath. And I thought it was done well. And so I did enjoy this. So I gave this a solid 4. Then I decided to pick up something kind of fun. And that was Unmentionable, the Victorian Ladies Guide to Sex, Marriage, and Manners. Now, I saw this on several people's channels, but I think I remember it more on, I'm trying to think if it was, I keep thinking it was Ange from Beyond the Pages. But I know I saw this on several people who were doing it during Victober or talked about it before that. So anyway, I really enjoyed this. This was funny. I think, again, this is one of those ones where I was learning stuff about something I already knew. So like The Last Stand, I'd read several books on that before. And so that was new. It was not new information. It was just, I liked the way that was put together. This was like a really great behind the scenes look of, after reading all that Victorian literature, to hear about what they had to go through. At least a lot of the bad and the good. And it was really good. I think the author, Therese O'Neill, she is really funny. And she kind of did it as the narrator was kind of like talking to you about, well, you want to go live in the Victorian times. Well, let me tell you what you have to deal with, and say, oh, well, you didn't like that, did you? Or you don't want to do that, do you? But that's the way it is. And I mean, it did get a little tiring after a while, but I did overall really enjoy the information that was in here. And I mean, I was supposed to be somewhere yesterday morning, but I had like 20 pages left of this, so I just had to finish it. And I'm like, oh, I'll just be late. So I was late. But, so I gave this a 4. I thought it was, as I said, to me, it was very informative about stuff. Like, we have these images of what it was like in that time, and this kind of shattered a few of those, you know, the good things that I thought of would be good, or what people would think were good and actually were not. Like, there's a couple of good surprises in here too. So if you like Victorian literature, and also like some history, I think this is a really good book. I mean, just take it the tongue-in-cheek kind of narrative, kind of, just don't worry about that too much. But the information is really cool. And it has a lot of cool, like old pictures and advertisements. And it's just kind of neat. It was a quick, fast read, I think. And I definitely enjoyed that. And then the last thing I'm going to wrap up here, is the audiobook I finished yesterday as well. And that is Astrophysics for People in a Hurry by Neil deGrasse Tyson. Now, I was kind of hesitant to get this. It was an Audible deal a little while ago. But, I mean, I think I bought it, and then I heard on somebody's channel, which I cannot recall, so I'm sorry about that. But they thought it was a little too, it wasn't maybe not dummied down enough or something, that not everybody would get it. But I really enjoyed this. There were things that I do not know, and definitely not an astrophysicist. I don't know enough about all this stuff, but I really enjoyed his voice and the way he talks about things, and his obvious joy of talking about space and cosmos and all that stuff. And I really, really enjoyed this for how short it was, how much stuff we got. Like, there was a lot of good information and a lot of refresher. Like, I knew that. Like, I was told that from my teacher back in high school. Could not have told you that until he said it. And I go, oh, that's right. I do kind of remember that. So I actually really enjoyed this, and I'm not sure I could pick up any of his other books because I'm not like totally scientific in my mind like that way, but I don't know. It was really good. I really enjoyed it as an audiobook too, because of course his voice is awesome. So that's what I've read so far. Again, that's pretty good, I think. I give that a 4. So just the 2 other nonfiction books that I might pick up, I'm still kind of on the fence, is I have The Book by Kevin Houston, and it is about bound books or about paper books or, like writing. So it's like, I don't know, I saw this on Kendra Winchester's channel, and I was like, oh, I need a book on the books. So we're gonna see. I don't know. I read the first intro and a little bit into the first chapter, so we'll see. And then the other book I have is Unbounded to listen to in my car, but because I got the book from my dad, but we'll see. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get to that. And I'm gonna probably start another audiobook tomorrow for work. I'm not sure what. So when I know, I'll let you know. So that is everything. And I hope you guys are doing a lot of reading, even though I'm doing a lot of writing as well. I've done a fair amount of reading, and I'm pretty impressed with myself. So anyway, I hope to see you guys, talk to you guys later. And if you have any comments, let me know. See you later. Bye.